Take two. So all anchored up. It went alright. Didn't have to do many. Got the anchor down. Can show you on. So you can see by the amount of red around here on my track line that I am now anchored. The little line leading up to it was just when I let a bit more chain out. Once I'd done that, you know, it held all right. It was hard to tell at the start, but yeah, it's held. A few ferries went past when I first got moored up, and that caused a bit of a chaos. They literally fly past, so the boat went mad. But yeah, anchored now. I went into the dinghy to the town halfway. It's the setting on the dinghy. I could probably fix the outboard motor quite easy. I just haven't done it yet. But there's like a little screw that you set, so that's like the idling speed. That just needs to be a bit more out, because once it runs fine, but as soon as I turn it down, it cuts out. It has no issue running full throttle, but then cuts out. Anyway, it cut out, and then I'd not realised, and I'd left the switch for the fuel off, and I wondered why it wouldn't start again, and I ended up paddling half the way over, or rowing half the way over, sorry. And then when I was rowing over, one of the oars, the little bracket that goes into, snapped. So then it was a nightmare. And then a fishing boat came, and I could see him, and it was dark, but I could see him. I was trying to get out of his way, but he weren't looking the way he was going. So as I turned to get out of his way, he turned the same way and just carried on coming towards me. He then eventually looked in front of him and saw me. Then he like pulled up alongside me and was like, blah, 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 in French, and I was like, sorry, parlez-vous anglais, do you speak English? And he was like, I think what he was saying was, you need to be paying, well, I know what he was saying was, you need to be paying attention. It was like, I just didn't have the patience. I was like, I'm looking where I'm going, like, I could see you, you just couldn't see me. It wouldn't matter if I had lights on the dinghy or anything, like, he couldn't see me. But it didn't help that one of the oars was broke, because I couldn't get out of his way quick enough. And frustratingly, since I've come and anchored up, the breeze, or wind you could say, it's been fairly consistent. Like, it's blowing. So had I have carried on, I could have probably got quite a bit further in the dark, but yeah. But then anchoring in the dark wouldn't have been the funnest thing in the world to do. So I'm going to get up early in the morning. I'm going to have a bit of a sort now, then maybe a wine, and then in the morning, straight off. I don't think there's going to be much wind again, but I do have a full tank of diesel. I did really want to go fly to the UK tomorrow for a few days, but I've just, with the engine problems and stuff, just not been able to do it. And yeah, I could have left the boat in Saint Tropez, but you know, and I'm clocking up 20 euros a day, which isn't ideal. But I'm glad I've got here and anchored, because that, you know, that's what I want to be doing, like where possible. And I, you know, there's a bit of pride, if you like, comes into it, because I watched loads of other sailing YouTube channels, and when it gets to December, everyone's in the UK. So to be anchoring up in like December, you know, I'd take quite happy about that. So yeah. So I don't imagine that filming very well, or half as well as it looks, but you know, just through the hatch, he's staying at anchor. The sky, so there's a few clouds have come over now, but so just about to be in the wake of like for the It must be the 15th time this morning. Can't really see just how much that makes. Water crisis. But anyway, on the inside things have fallen off everywhere. Last night there was like a, you know, it weren't like it was super. The wind, I had a bit of wind for a bit because it was annoying, because that's why I stopped. Then it was like a current was running this way, but the swell was coming this way, but the current was making the boat point as it is now. There's a bit of wind as well now coming from there, but a swell was coming from that way, so the boat would just take this swell on its side, and it weren't, you know, it weren't a huge swell, but the boat was like rocking side to side, which if the bow was facing into that small swell, you know, it weren't a lot, but because it was hitting on the side, it was just, everything was banging. I think I had about 3 hours sleep, woke up about 3:30 this morning, couldn't get back to sleep, and then I needed the toilet, so I had to go find one on land. So at 4 o'clock in the morning I was in the dinghy on the way to the toilet. I ain't got a black water tank, or a sewage tank, whatever you want to call it. And then got back, and because it was still rocky, uncomfortable, it was dark, I thought I'll set off. Went to start the engine and it's not started. And I've tested that battery using, like, I did it a few nights where I left everything on that could possibly be on, and see if I still had enough power in the morning to start the engine. So I had a full battery because the engine charges it when I got here last night. And then, yeah, by the morning went to start the engine, and now it's doing nothing. It's cloudy today too. I debated just putting the sails and going, but it's cloudy, so the solar panel weren't going to get any power to it, so, you know, I could have set off, but if the wind stopped, then I wouldn't have even been anchored. At least I'm anchored. However, tonight there's a strong, I can't remember if it's Mistral or not, but coming like with 30 kilometre gusts, so I can't stay here. And then my banking app, I've changed phones, and then I've tried to put the new app on, and now I'm in a part where I'm just being verified, but it might take up to 24 hours. I need to transfer the money over to the card that I actually use in order to go. I'm gonna have to just go buy a leisure battery and go. Anyway, I've looked around the whole boat for money, and I think I've got just enough in the bank that I can use, and all the money that I've now put in a pocket somewhere. However, the dinghy is low on fuel and the oar broke last night, so I could end up having to try and have a bit of an awkward row back. Hopefully not, but yeah, I'm going to go set off now and get that battery. So the engine is going. It's touch and go. It took ages to start, and I could see the voltage getting less and less every time I try, or every second I had it pressed. Right. Let's get out of here. So behind me, we've left, got the engine going, do have the sails up. It's there's hardly any wind, so the engine's on, but the engine's on quite low, just to make sure we're doing at least 2.5 knots, otherwise it's not going to be enough hours in the day and night probably. So over there, right in the very tip, just around here, I'm probably going to go around that. Around here, either way I have to go around that buoy because there's some dodgy bits of land there and rocks. So I'm going to go around that buoy. The shortest is to go back to where I came from in San Rafael, but I've come from there. Obviously it's a bit longer over to, then Cannes is the next one, and then Antibes is just around the corner from there. I guess we'll just see how the day pans out, but we're on the move. It's not like, you know, ideally I could turn the engine off and go just with the sails, then it, you know, it's a bit nicer. The sea's quite flat at least, and we are now left there after nearly 2 weeks, I think, now being there, paying extreme, not extreme, but more than anywhere else. So I'm hoping when we get past the bit of land here, we get a bit more wind, but we'll see. The sailing gloves on because I'm soft. The wind that was due to come later on about 6, 7, 8 o'clock even. It's, you know, it's getting upon us quicker as I did before. Anyway, so I hate doing voiceovers, but I've paused the video there just because I've just editing this video and I've realised that's the first time I've sailed a boat with 2 sails up in actual wind. The boat was doing a good 4 to 5 knots and there's not much footage of it. Again, comes down to a phone issue. I've stopped recording on phones, but back to the video. I had to go to the toilet like I was desperate, and I would normally be over the side of the boat, but I also needed to go and get some food. Doing so, you know, the tiller was going one way and it was just steering me back to the point that it was going to like tap. This is going to look crazy, however, you have the line running from the opposite side of where the Genoa, there's not even much of it out, that runs down and is on that side. This side's just a loose wire, however it runs down around the tiller a few times, around that, and then it could have probably just been around that, but because I couldn't tie it easily from where I was stood, it then just runs around here, and that little bit of tension, little bit of slack is literally just keeping me pointing in like a perfect line. So that's good. That's sailing. That is like it's not, is it? It's just worked somehow. I'm not sure how it's worked. It has. So we did make it in yesterday. I can't remember how much I recorded. I think I did some bits on my phone, but it got a bit windy. It got a bit hectic. I didn't actually make it all the way where I wanted to. I did a bit of a U-turn and came back into Saint Raphael. I just grabbed the GoPro just then because there was one of them birds that fishes under the water and it was like gliding through under there for like 10 seconds at a time, but as I was grabbing it I've lost it. So this is the weather. The port was like, do you want to maybe go park so you've got a boat next to you? To be honest, it wouldn't matter that much having that boat next to me. If the thing was coming in, it's coming from there and it's hitting me first anyway, but the rocks there tend to block the waves a bit, and there's something I personally like about, you know, coming out in the morning and just seeing that rather than, you know, some places I've been parked right next to like a big boat, so all I see when I get up is a bigger boat, but that's quite a nice view. Anyway, I should probably go close the hatch because it's pouring down. So thanks for watching this week's episode, and a big thank you as well to everyone so far who subscribed, liked and commented on the videos. It motivates me to keep putting them out there. Here's the sunset at the end of that day sailing, and I have made a little outro, so let me know what you think of that. It's coming up now, and I'll see you next time.